Welcome to Woodshop 101, a woodworking audio podcast geared toward the hobby weekend woodworker. Your hosts for the show are Jeremy Crawford and Drew Shore. Join these two different craftsmen for a lighthearted banter about everything woodworking, online education, and how they produce content. Topics could include the latest news, tips, tricks, and designs, to include furniture, crafts, and shop projects. All right, welcome to episode number 34. Tonight we're going to talk about marketing yourself as a maker/content creator if you're a YouTuber or a blogger. What's going on?
Who are you talking to?
Either one of you.
Doing pretty good. Just been a busy weekend for me, so I just got back from Atlanta.
Woo! Yeah, just traveling. I saw you decide not to drive.
Yeah, it was like $200 cheaper to fly.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
That's real life. That happens in real life.
Yeah, it was a big change because I had every intention of driving, and when I put bids out to see how much I could get a flight for, it came up $200 cheaper because I didn't have to stay overnight somewhere, and I didn't have to drive. Well, I think it was going to be like 13 hours straight just to get there, and then wear and tear on my truck, I avoided that too, so it all kind of worked out.
Yeah. So what are you doing besides being sick?
I know, I'm so sick this week. It's like crazy. I think there's like some serious bugs going around, and I picked one up. Gross. Not much going on here. Just been busy. I had a lot of orders to fill this week for my business. I think I sent out like 7 packages this week, so it's been crazy, but like good crazy. It's like I want to complain, but I can't because I'm so happy.
Well, if you quit making all those false profiles, you wouldn't have to send out so many orders.
I just love spamming people.
So, I correct me if I'm wrong, but I saw that you posted somewhere that you're going to be closing shop for a little bit come the summertime?
Yeah, so there's a pretty big fair that happens out in Montauk, and it's more of like a maker's fair, and I did it a few summers ago, and it was really successful, but once I started marketing myself outside of local business, I didn't realize, I underestimated how busy I would be and how many orders people worldwide would want. So I'm going to shut down my online shop for a little bit just to take some time to build orders for that maker's fair, because I've been dying to do it for the past few years and just haven't had the time, and it'll be cool. I'm really excited about it. It'll be worth it to kind of shut it down a bit, but if people are really pressed to want some orders, I obviously can't say no, so it'll be cool.
I know how that is. I have dodged orders up until now, and a lady has been contacting me and repeatedly asking for a table, and against my better judgment, I'm going to take on that commission, and that's going to be the last thing I do before I close shop here for a few months.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I mean, I'm kind of leading it into what I want, because she sent a few ideas from Pinterest, whatnot, and I was like, no, I really don't have time. And I was like, this is what I have time for. She was like, oh, well, I really like that. And I was like, all right, well, if you go with that design, I'll do it. She's like, okay. So at least it's something that I haven't done before. So
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
That's a good thing. It's trestle table can't be horrible, and it will get done. Unlike my wife's dining room table.
Oh yeah, the birthday present from 2 years ago.
All right.
Yeah. So
I still really think that we should take bets on that one. I saw some people comment on our last podcast that they were throwing some dates in there, so I really think we should start a pool. I'm dead serious. I'll coordinate it.
I've really thought about completing it before I even leave in June. Probably not going to happen, but we'll see. So I will, for those of you that are tuning in, Sam is with us again, and against our better judgment, we're going to listen to our listeners.
Customers.
And customers. We're going to listen to our listeners, and she will now be the permanent third co-host of the podcast.
Get ready for me.
So welcome,
Sam?
Okay, against your better judgment.
Yeah.
For the record, let me just state that these two were practically begging for me to be on their show, okay?
I have no idea what you're
Begging.
talking about.
I mean, begging would infer that we're on our hands and knees.
There was no begging, but there's a proposal. There
was a proposal.
Drew got down on one knee and asked, and I couldn't say no. But no, I'm really excited. I'm super stoked to be here with you guys and doing this from now on. It's been a really supportive community. Every time I do a podcast, people reach out and tell me that they really enjoyed all the stuff we spoke about. So I'm really excited to see, where this takes us.
Yeah, I just this weekend alone, Drew, and I don't know how plugged in you were into social media this weekend, but I mean on Instagram and Facebook, everywhere people are posting, bring Sam back, make her the third co-host, this and that. And so bad, just wanted to be like, all right, y'all stop texting us. She'll be the third co-host.
I almost let it slip at one point. I was like, I'll be back soon.
So
yeah, I heard that. Yeah, I got asked the same stuff while I was at the show. Everybody kept telling me that because I was handing out stickers on Sunday, and they were just like, Sam's name is missing.
In fact, somebody posted that on the comment when I put the picture on Instagram. They're like, Sam's name's not on there? Okay, well,
so we're gonna have to Sharpie my name on every sticker before we send them out.
Well, there you go. We knew ahead of time that we were gonna possibly have you on as a third co-host, so we only ordered a short amount of stickers, pretty much to hand out for that event. So I have a few stickers left. I'll be sending out, and then that will be that. And if you were wondering why the logo is different on the stickers than the website, that is because we have a new logo now. And I would like to say possibly this week, if Drew gets me the file, everything will be updated with the new logo. Don't send it to me right now, Drew, because you got to add Sam's name, and I can't do it.
I'm opening up Keynote right now. Just so you do
my
that.
name better be on those next round of stickers, or all hell's breaking loose.
Dang, man, she's
already
making names. Yeah,
she comes on and she's already putting us in place.
Geez, sounds like my wife.
It's a girl thing.
Oh wait, I did propose to her though, didn't I?
That's it. Sister wives.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. All right, so Drew, what's going on in your shop?
Well, I am starting on my sliding dovetail miter picture frame. I don't know if you guys had seen my latest joint it video, but I did a brand new joint that I have never done before, and it's a miter joint incorporated with an integral dovetail tenon that slides into an opposing mortise on the opposite piece, or adjacent piece, I guess you could say, and makes a very, very strong miter joint. I was actually quite impressed. So I'm going to try and incorporate that into a picture frame. But yeah, I got it right here. I don't know if y'all seen it or not, but
fancy.
Yeah, that is fancy.
Nice little sliding joint.
I'll be the first to tell you I have not seen it, because you didn't release it on your website, did you?
No, because I was in the Atlanta area, I didn't have a whole heck of a lot of time to get on my computer to make the article, and I had planned on getting that done. It never happened, so that's something I plan on releasing tonight, if at all possible.
Yeah, so to kind of defend myself here, time management has been, like, over the last year, one of my biggest hurdles. Like, I want to get more manageable on my time so I can be in the shop more, start getting those projects out, because I will be sure that I release the 25 videos that I said was my goal this year. And here we are already 4 months into it. So I noticed one of my biggest hurdles was I would get up and I would get on YouTube and try to catch up on videos. And then I'd be on there for hours and hours, and then I'd lose all my motivation to get in the shop. And so I started, I had my RSS reader, or my app, that did all reading-based articles. And now I started, about 6 months ago, the people that I really want to watch their videos, I subscribe to them through RSS. And so when that RSS comes through, then that's the videos those are the people I'm going to follow day in and day out. And then other people, when I get the time, I'll go in and YouTube and just kind of catch up on the videos that I want to watch of theirs. But that, for time management wise, like that's been huge for me, because I'm like, all right, well, I have 5 videos to catch up on. After that 5 videos, I'm not getting on YouTube. I'm going to go work. And so, to my defense, Drew, you didn't release it on your website, so I didn't get on YouTube and look at it.
Well, it makes me feel good that you're monitoring the website.
Yeah. So, all right, Sam, what do you have going on?
I just worked on a pretty interesting mixed media project today. I stopped kind of doing the crafting thing a while ago, but I did a DIY swap with a really cool YouTube blogger or YouTube DIYer, and she sent me a bunch of like random stuff in a box, and so I used that random stuff and made something cool. So it'll be up on the blog tomorrow. I don't want to give away anything too early.
Well, this won't be too early because this won't even air until next Monday.
Oh, yeah, there you go. So you can go ahead and tell us.
All right, so some kind of like... Now I'm going to tell you guys. You asked, so now I'm going to tell you.
Okay.
Some kind of like string art, some nails. I used some reclaimed wood. Had a piece of wood sitting around that I was sure I would do something with. It's been in there for like over a year. And I finally found a reason to use it, so I'm pretty excited about it. Should be cool.
Yeah, because you didn't get enough free lumber this weekend.
I got so lucky. A local business went out, well, a local woodshop went out of business, and the guy left behind like tons of wood that he just couldn't take with him, and he was like, hey, if you're interested, come pick it up. And I was like, don't have to ask me twice, see you in 5 minutes. Drove down the road, stole my dad's truck, and picked it up, because it wasn't fitting in my Fiat 500, so had to steal the truck for it.
Isn't that like the size of a smart car?
Yeah,
Close.
basically.
So, well, I mean, that's definitely a lucky find, because anytime you can get hardwoods for free, it's pretty good. So, I am working on the memory box for Brusso, and just the last 2 days in the shop and recording, I've gotten really far. I got the entire box itself built with the bottom. It's all glued and assembled, and tonight earlier this evening I finished building the lid and getting it all glued up, so it's sitting in clamps. And I don't know if I'll get in the shop tomorrow, because really I'm at the point that I just flatten the top and then apply the hinges and work on the inlay, and I'm kind of lost on what I want to do on that inlay. I know originally I said it was going to be a resin based, and I still want to go that way because I need to use the trans tint dye to dye it. I'm just at a loss. I don't really know how I want to take the inlay or remove the material for it. So I don't know if I'm going to do it by all hand tools or if I'm going to do it by router, create some kind of jig. I don't know yet. I think that's going to be a video in itself, because it'll be a very detailed process. So I would lean to say, as much content as I shot, look for this video to be longer. It's probably going to be in the 15 to 20 minute range, if not longer than that, just because I went into very detail on my processes. In fact, I actually yesterday did a slip up, made a mistake, and needed some wood glue to fix it, and I was out of wood glue. And I was trying to pick up some of that DAP that you referred us to.
So lovingly referred us to.
Yeah. And Home Depot didn't have it. So
way to go, Sam.
Sorry,
my
guys.
quick 30-minute fix turned out to be a couple-hour fix, and then you know how that is. Once you're waiting on glue to set, then it's hard to get back in the shop after so many hours. But nonetheless, it turned out just not as quick as I wanted it to. So if you've been following Instagram and Facebook, you'll have seen a lot of update pictures and have a good idea of things that are being incorporated into it. One thing that I didn't really tell anybody, I've just kind of been hitting around it, but I took the bottom panel of the box and did a Mod Podge on it with a 20-year-old map. So I found this map of my hometown in my truck. And I was kind of torn to what I wanted to do on the bottom, if I wanted to leave it or do something different. And I found this map and I was like, heck, let's do it. So I ironed it flat and kind of figured out where in the town I wanted it to be placed, and then decoupaged it onto the bottom panel. And so it looks pretty cool. And to be a memory box of my time in the military, you know, what better way to have the base of the box as, you know, the base of my life or the roots of my life. So
very cool. Was that your phone vibrating?
Yeah. my dad was calling me. I've been ignoring his calls all day.
Rude.
I get on the phone with him and then I don't ever get anything done. And once I'm on a roll, don't call me. Don't text me. Like it. I was on social media for a little bit this morning, talking back and forth with you, Sam, and Todd Clippinger from American Craftsman Workshop, and I was like, all right, look, I got to put my phone down because I'm not going to get anything done if I just keep going back and forth.
Yeah,
So.
you with YouTube in the morning is me with Instagram in the morning. And then I'm like, all right, I'm only going to be on for 30 minutes. And then I look at the clock and I'm like, it's been an hour. How?
Well, I only have like 270 followers. And so my Instagram's about 10 minutes versus your almost 10,000. So
10,000. You know what that means? A YouTube video is coming, guys.
So what number are you currently sitting at right now?
9,683.
All right, so our listeners should be able to get you over the hump there. Yeah, I want to see her.
All right, guys,
on
wait,
YouTube.
not too fast. I'm like freaking out about being on YouTube. Don't get me there too fast.
Hang on, didn't you just start? You already started recording your video, didn't you?
My video's done.
So just go ahead and release it.
No, not yet, because I'm almost there. Like, first of all, I'm so picky, and I'm like, I'll look at it and I'll be like, why does my face look like that in that shot? Or like, why does my hand look like that? I don't know. I'm really awkward. It's really funny. There might be a blooper reel, maybe.
Hey, we like those.
Yeah, but I'm excited about it. It's almost done being edited. I got to do a few more things, and trust me, it'll be up sooner than I want it to. So
Once it's done, are you going to post it before your 10,000, or are you going to hold off until that 10,000 mark?
I'm trying to hold off for as long as possible, so I'm holding off till 10,000.
I think you should release it early.
No.
Once this Brusso box is built, let's release it on the same day.
We'll talk.
It's probably 2 more weeks before it'll be up.
Yeah, if things are going the way they've been going, I'll probably have 10,000 by next week, so I could probably commit to 2 weeks.
Listen,
There you
things have been going the way they're going.
Yeah.
Listen, I've been keeping close watch because, first of all, I'm really awkward on film. Most of the time, I'm like, where do I put my hands? Like, I'm not really sure where they go. But for me, like, this is a big deal because this is, like, uncharted territory. It's like I'm kind of nervous about it, you know? So I've been monitoring very closely and hoping every day that less people follow me. Sorry.
Oh, gosh. Trust me, you will have a loyal following.
I know. Everyone's been so great and so supportive. I can't even say anything bad. And I know that even if I, like, totally suck, people are going to be like, you were great, but let's help you out for next time.
You know, I would agree with you there that it was very difficult, my first few videos, and they really say it's difficult if you do it on a weekly or couple-week basis, that it's difficult until you're about your 10th or 12th video. Then you really just kind of loosen up on the camera. And, you know, I'm on video 9 or 10, and that's been spread out over the last 3 years. But I've noticed just recording this video now that being on the podcast for the last year and 2 months, that it's really helped, and I'm not nervous at all talking to the camera. And I guess more developed the mindset that, like, I don't care, like, if you don't like what I do with my hands, or you don't like the way I talk to the camera, don't watch my video. Like, I don't care. So
Well, it's kind of funny that we're talking about this whole YouTube and blogger thing because our topic this week is marketing yourself as a maker or content creator through YouTube or just on the blogging aspect of things. I think this was Sam's. Was this Sam's idea?
Probably.
Yes, not probably. It was. In fact, I went back to our text reel and found your idea just to put it on here.
Yes. No, this was. It's a question that a lot of people it's probably my most frequent questions are about marketing yourself as a blogger or how to get your name out there and really how to build your brand. So I thought this would be interesting to talk about because there are a lot of people who do cool stuff and just aren't really sure as to what the right way to go about getting their name out there is.
Well, then let's hear it, expert here. I want to. This is your topic.
Well, here's my thing. So, wanted to bring it on the podcast because I always think it's helpful to get some other people's opinions of how their journey has worked. I actually recently started a new series on my blog where I once a month I'm going to be inviting a guest poster to kind of answer an FAQ and really get their opinion in there as well, because there's the stuff that I could tell you, but it might not work for you. And that's why I thought it'd be cool to hear your guys' take on this topic as well. But I mean, my first step whenever anybody ever asks me this is just take a leap of faith. Just try. You never know until you try. And if you don't reach out, you never know what could happen. And if you reach out, the worst people can say is no. So that's usually kind of like my general rule of thumb. I mean, when you guys are starting out, or when you guys did start out, what was your kind of rule of thumb?
Jeremy?
Word of mouth. My biggest thing, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about YouTubing. I'm not really. I don't have a huge following. In fact, I don't even know if I have 200 followers, just because I haven't been dedicated to it. But through the podcast and definitely through commission-based building, a company and a brand, my go-to thing was my listeners or my customers were my marketers. That was free marketing to me. If I treated them right and acted with honesty and integrity and respect, that they would market the podcast, they would market my company and bring in more followers, more commission work. And that's I'm getting into the fact that only your listeners can only take you so far. Then you have to start investing your time elsewhere, whether that be social media and really building your presence there on the social media aspect. And don't be afraid to ask your friends and your family on Facebook to follow your page, because they're going to be some of your biggest supporters as well. They're going to share your content, and then knowing, the way to market yourself, putting a sticker on your truck or wearing a shirt and people asking you about it. Don't be afraid to talk about it. I think that, to me, that's the biggest marketing tool I can give is if you're passionate about something and you want to be a YouTuber or a blogger or commission-based work, podcast, or whatever you want to be, you don't be afraid to talk about it. That's obviously your passion for a reason. Talk about it. Ask people, and I really took that leap of faith about 2 weeks ago. Everybody knew that I'd been into more commission-based work for the last 4 years, but none of them really knew that I was taking a step back from that and getting more into the educational aspect. And I took a huge leap of faith and pretty much announced that to everybody I work with, a bunch of my friends. And I was deathly afraid of them getting on YouTube and then be like, oh, look at this guy. Now, I don't care. They see that there's that passion. And if you saw a post on Instagram a few weeks ago about us in a bar having a business meeting, it's just an impromptu thing. So me telling them, how I'm restarting my journey and having to remarket myself and rebrand myself really kind of led into that. We went to the bar to have a drink and just hang out, and it turned into this big business meeting. They were asking advice, and it was just surreal to know that 4 years ago or even 2 months ago, I would have never been comfortable enough talking about that. And I don't know what clicked on me overnight, but it was just, this is my passion. I think really when my wife told me, and it was right after our first show with you, Sam, that I was discussing with my wife our possibility of asking you to come on as a third co-host. And she really took a step back and was like, wow, like this is actually serious. Like I thought this was just something, just a passing that you and Drew were going to do, and it was going to dissipate over time. And it was just one of your little quick.
She had a lot of faith in you. I like it.
One of your quick little run efforts, and then she was like, so I mean, like for her to realize like you're getting big, and you're not this taking time out every 2 weeks to do something, and for the fact that her to realize that passion kind of helped me have that motivation to tell other people about it. So you had a big part in that there, Sam.
Oh.
You proved that we were actually good.
Well, like, I don't know. I was excited when you guys asked me to be on your podcast because going along with the marketing thing too, it's you got to branch out. You got to really do new things. And I mean, just like you were saying, Jeremy, is like when you start, it's a lot of friends and family. It's a lot of word of mouth. But same thing with me being scared of being on YouTube. I was scared to be on Instagram, and I was scared to have a Facebook page, and I was scared to do this podcast. And so, it really is like you got to just reach out. Sometimes you have to ask. Sometimes you got to be like, hey, we do similar things. Are you interested in working with my brand? And you never know like what can come out of that. So I'm really happy to be here.
Well, we're glad to hear that. Yeah, the whole marketing thing, like you said, you basically have to diversify your methods of getting your name and your brand out there, whether it be consistency on YouTube and letting the viewers find you, or branching out and doing things like this podcast, getting your name in multiple venues, whether it be audio or video. Blogging is another way. And that's something that you're experimenting with now, Sam, is getting into the video aspect of it because you've been on blogging for so long. Reaching out to companies to see if maybe they want to maybe just get in on one episode of your video or have a mention on a blog or even on an audio podcast. It's basically just do not be afraid to put yourself out there. People are going to judge, and that's just the nature of the beast. But you just kind of have to get a thick skin and forget about what others think about you, because you're number one. You're looking out for yourself, and you're going to have to put yourself out there in order to be heard. In my case, I do a lot of Instagram, do a lot of Facebook, Twitter. When I first started, I was on just about every media platform that I could even think of. I even got on a website that posted to, I think it was 5 different video platforms, all at once just by uploading to it. A lot of those platforms have dissipated since then, so I stopped using it. But just getting yourself in as many different venues as possible, diversifying as much as you possibly can. So,
no,
yeah.
I definitely agree with that. I mean, the fact of the matter is too, is like, if you're really going to stay stuck in one spot, that's where you're going to be. And it's going to be hard for you to get out of that rut and to spread the word of your business to other people and to other domains. So I'm definitely with you on that one.
When I first started woodworking, the way I got my name out there as a woodworker and crafter was doing craft shows. And because I knew people weren't going to just walk up to my garage and say, hey, I want to buy something from you because I can see that you're working with a table saw. So doing craft shows really opened my venue up to people that had no clue who I was. But when they see the work that you're putting out, they're going to start spreading word of mouth. And like Jeremy said, that's free advertisement. Putting stickers on your vehicle to also promote. I decorated my trailer that I hold all of my stuff in with my brand, and that also is seen. I've got stickers on my truck right now for my YouTube channel, and people have subscribed because they have seen it on my truck. There are just so many different ways to market yourself. I mean, it's almost sky's the limit. You just got to open your mind and eyes to where you need to go to get yourself out there.
Drew, how, and I guess this is more of maybe some advice for people wanting to get into YouTube or are not as big on YouTube, considering that you are bigger than both Sam and I on our YouTube presence, what is something you can recommend to get more followers or more subscribers or more video views on YouTube, especially now that, you know, there's a whole sea of content out there and there's a whole bunch of video woodworkers. You know, you never want to look at it as competition, but in a way it is. Because there's so many people out there. You have to be able to draw somebody to your video so they want to view yours versus somebody else. You know, if they may only have 5 minutes in that day, so which video do you pick? How do you market yourself, or how do you put yourself in that position of where they pick your video versus somebody else's?
Well, I mean, you're kind of at the mercy of what these people really want to watch, what it is that they're looking for. Not everybody's going to be looking for the same thing. When it comes to competition, yeah, it kind of is, but I really don't view it in that way because we have started to grow as a community, not necessarily a competition. Which is why there have been so many YouTube channels come out. That's also why we are doing the Video Woodworkers booth, showing people that this is not a cutthroat kind of market. Everybody is helping one another. So another way to establish a presence, there are two ways. One is consistency. Being able to put out a video as often as possible. You may not be able to do it every week, but if you set a goal for yourself that I want to have one out every month, or I want to have one out every 2 weeks, one out every week, something like that can keep you consistent based on your personal schedule. That will help bring subscribers to your channel. What kind of woodworking that you do on your channel may also dictate how many subscribers that you have. If you are doing big tutorial builds that are 20, 30 minutes, then you're going to have kind of a niche kind of subscriber base. So it may not be as huge as somebody like April or Steve Ramsey that have a lot more subscribers that are DIY or do-it-yourself, starting out in their shop kind of people. Whereas, like me, I am more intermediate to advanced woodworking. So my subscribers are going to be a little bit slower going. But that doesn't mean that I am doing any less the work than they are. So you kind of have to gear your woodworking to your audience. What kind of audience are you wanting? So how to bring them to your channel? That's really it's kind of an open-ended question because you really don't know what your viewers are going to want. Basically, you just need to do what it is that you do best and keep doing it. Don't worry about what other people say or think of you. You know what kind of a woodworker you are. You know what your audience is going to like because they're going to tell you. And just, I wouldn't say cater to your audience, but start developing your channel in the direction that your audience is starting to favor. In my case, shop projects have been getting huge results for me. My table saw cabinet, my assembly table, my clamp cabinet have been huge projects, and everybody loves shop projects. Anything to make their life easier in the shop is going to help. So I really can't answer a good way to bring people to your channel, but consistency is a huge factor in YouTube.
I think that's the key that you're saying, and I kind of put you on the spot on that because I've already posed the question to a few other YouTubers, and I talked to Matt Cremona about it a little bit as to, you know, he's fairly new into the game. I mean, he's only been in it, I think, a little over a year, and most of his videos are shop updates. And, you know, I was really talking to him about, like, you know, in the grand scheme of things, how important were those shop updates to his subscriber base or his following. And surprisingly, I was expecting it to not have very much impact at all. He said those are his most viewed videos, or his shop updates. And it's because of that consistency. Like you said, he's getting a video out every week. Whether it's a project or not, he's engaging his audience. And that's the important part, is to engage that audience on a constant basis. So you do build that following, and then when you have a shop project or you have a build project, they're more invested in you as a person. And that was something that I really started talking to him about, because that's what I've been toying around with. Is there's no way I can commit to a build schedule every week or every 2 weeks. I can do it when I can get it done, and that's especially going into this new job, where my work days are going to be anywhere between 10 and 12-hour days every day. And then on the weekends, I'm going to want to spend the most of the time I can with the family. And so I was trying to figure out the best way to get that audience engaged, and he recommended, like, try the shop updates every week. Just sit down and engage with your audience on a weekly basis. It doesn't have to be anything big, but let them know what's going on in your world and what you're working on. And then as things start coming in, start giving feedback. So I think that to get me where I want to be, I'm probably going to start doing that as soon as I'm done recording this Brusso hardware memory box build. I just think right now I'm so invested in this video that I don't want to take the time to get into the shop updates right now. I want to start that, not have anything else really on my plate video wise, and then once I get a few of those out, then I can figure out how to incorporate that and a build project at the same time. So yep. I would say hopefully by the end of May, look to hopefully start seeing me at least every 2 weeks with some kind of shop update. And I don't know what I'm going to call the video yet, and that's probably something that I'll get y'all's feedback on off air. But I feel like there's so many people that call it shop updates or weekly vlogs, or like you got to create something different that people want to watch. So
wait, I want to jump in here for a sec,
go ahead.
Because so I definitely see what you're saying about having a consistent posting schedule and posting things. But at the same time, like, so when I first started blogging, I tried to get out a project every single week, and then I ended up getting really sick of it and totally uninspired, and had to kind of create a brand new schedule for myself. So like, for instance, for me, my schedule right now is I'll post 2 projects a month, and then have a guest post 1 week and a home improvement article another week. And for me, like, that works well. And in like a marketing standpoint, I think because I'm more passionate about what I'm doing now, it helps bring people to my blog and to look at my work and to really see that passion come out in my work and in my writing. And so, like, for me, like, I definitely see what you're saying about the schedule, but I'm kind of playing devil's advocate here because in a way, to me, it's more important to put things out that you're passionate about than to just spit out material every week. So, like, that would be my standpoint on that.
And I completely agree, which is why, I mean, putting out a video every week, especially if it's just woodworking, you may appear like you're forcing it. Which is why I started diversifying my channel a little bit and bringing this new series, like the Join It series. It's not a project. It's showing beginners and intermediates and even some advanced level joinery that they may not have incorporated in their woodworking, or different ways that they can incorporate it into their woodworking if they are thinking about doing so. I'm also thinking about bringing my daughter into the shop and have another series called Little Boomers.
Yay!
So yeah, things like that it shows your passion, and you can do those once a week. You can do them multiple times a week, as long as you're passionate about it and can do it on your time frame, your schedule, to where you don't burn out. Because that's what happened to me back in August of last year. I had to take 2 months off because I did burn myself on it, because I was trying to think each and every week, what can I put out? Can it be something little? Can it be something big? Do I even need it? Are my viewers even going to want it? it was just things like that. So I had to kind of reset and reevaluate. And where I'm at now is what I came up with. So you are definitely right. It's not just about doing the same thing over and over again, because that's just like the definition of insanity. But staying consistent and passionate are the two biggest things in creating a YouTube following. Collaborations are another big thing. Like Sam's been doing a blogging collaboration. That gets your name out there to another set of viewers that may not even know who you are. So I think that's another good idea.
Absolutely.
Anything else to add to that? That's pretty good. That's a pretty good topic, Sam. Good for you.
Yeah, my whole thing is like, as long as you're passionate about what you're doing, it'll be easy to market yourself, because you're going to want people to see what you're making and to see what you're doing and to spread the word of the work that you're proud of. So if you ever feel like you're losing the passion, just step back and make sure you're not trying too hard. That'd be like my advice.
That's good advice.
Thanks.
Very good. Well, if anybody else has any kickback on this particular topic, feel free to send us an email or a voicemail or what have you, a comment in the show notes, and let us know your thoughts on the whole subject matter, because this can go on forever, but it's always nice to have somebody else's opinion. Speaking of kickback, we have got a follow-up from Mr. Donald LeBlanc from funwithwoodworking.com. He dropped us a line after we had listened to his voicemail on, was that two shows ago or last show?
I want to say it was last show.
Yeah,
I think it was last show.
Yeah, I want to say it was last show.
Basically, he left us a voicemail saying that, well, I'll just read what he says. He said, "Hey guys, this is Donald from funwithwoodworking.com, which is my blog. I listened to the show on the way home from work tonight, and I didn't think about sending you guys a link. I listened to your show on March 16th, and it inspired me to write a build article for a project that I had posted on YouTube on March 6th. He left us the link, and he also said thanks again. So we will leave that in the show notes. So it was cool to see that Donald was inspired by the actual podcast that we had on blogging and making it work with your YouTube channel. Because that's what Sam was concerned with, is losing her blogging, I wouldn't say skills, but ability to keep her blog consistent and passionate each and every time while she was also doing YouTube, because I guess it was just like a priority thing. And Donald was inspired by our advice and how to work them in both ways.
Yeah, Donald.
All right, well, let's talk about what's new. We're going to talk about another woodworking event. This is the Lee Nielsen Toolworks. They're all over the country. In fact, I think they're going to be in Charleston, South Carolina this weekend. But we're going to talk more specifically about April 29th and the 30th. It is in Houston, and I will do everything I can to be in attendance. At least on Saturday, I'm going to try to be in attendance. It is 10 to 6 on Friday, and then Saturday is going to be 10 to 5. And it is going to be hosted by Kellogg Furniture Maker, and it will be on Dunleavy Street in Houston. I'll put the information on it down in the show notes. But if you are going to be in the area and you want to get together and go to it together, or meet up after for dinner or something, let me know, and we will definitely do that. So
there's also one other thing I want to bring to everybody's attention that I forgot to post in the show notes for us, Jeremy, is that there is a competition that has been started on a YouTube channel by the name of Shane's Hobby Shop. He has started a Mother's Day contest. Basically, people building projects kind of geared towards Mother's Day. And there is a certain deadline and certain restrictions that you need to abide by when participating in the competition. And if you go to Shane's Hobby Shop YouTube channel, his recent released video will give you all the information you need to know. I'll go ahead and give you the link, Jeremy, so you can post it a little bit later on. But just want to make everybody aware about that contest too.
Okay, awesome. All right, well, if you weren't in attendance to the Video Woodworkers booth in Atlanta this last weekend, and you haven't really followed us on social media, we now have podcast stickers. We ordered a very short amount because we knew that there was a big chance we were going to have to change them. So once we're out, we're going to be out until we order some more with Sam's name on them as well.
Heck yeah!
So
I've got a Sharpie.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll just Sharpie my name on every single one. It's fine, guys.
So if you want a sticker, shoot one of us a message and we will get one out to you. I think on this run we're giving them out, really nothing in exchange. However, on the next run, we will do them for sticker exchanges, or they will possibly be put up for a small sale on the store, just to help support the show and kind of keep the lights on going. This is definitely not free and it's not cheap, but we enjoy doing it, so anything can help. Last thing I have is Wes Swain, I think is his name. I talked to him on Facebook today, and he got a saw blade with a bunch of signatures from you guys over in Atlanta this last weekend. Mm-hmm. He is actually going to auction it off for Steve Ramsey's Maker's Care, and it will benefit the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So today is the 5th. He said it's going to be posted by the 6th. So by the time you guys are listening to this, it should be up, and I'll have the link posted in the show notes. So if you want to see what it's about, go ahead, head to the show notes, and click on the link.
That's very cool because we actually did a charity auction raffle for the Video Woodworkers booth, and we gave away several projects that some of the people have made, and actually Donald LeBlanc made a couple of them too. One of them with Matt Cremona's flat face on a big cutting board, so it was rather cool to see those projects come from other viewers from around the globe, basically. And we were able to raise just under $1,000 for the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
That's cool. So, all right, let's move into some product reviews. Sam, what's something that you want to recommend?
So, recently I found that working either in my house or in my shop, the lighting has just been really terribly off, and I've been trying to get better about taking pictures and making them look professional so that you guys don't think I'm amateurs. So I went on Amazon and I bought a lighting kit, and it's by Limo Studios. It's a 600-watt lighting kit. It comes with 3 bulbs, 2 umbrellas, and 3 stands, and it is hands down the best $50 I've ever spent. So I wanted to recommend it to anybody who needs some extra lighting for like video or photo purposes without breaking the bank, since being on a budget is super important to me.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm going to go spend $50 now. Thanks, Sam.
You're welcome.
Just because I use, and a lot of people do, clamp lights, and I think I have either 5,000 or 6,500 watt bulbs in them, or Kelvin, not watt, 6,500 Kelvin
Good
bulbs.
Lord.
Yeah.
Suntan City.
Touching the sun. But for some reason, lately, they haven't been very bright. And I don't know if it's just because I put the new overhead shop light in that's ridiculously bright. So they just don't seem like they work as well. But I am looking for an alternative. So thanks. I'm going to go spend $50. Actually, I'm going to have my wife text you and tell you thank you, because I'm going to spend $50.
Sorry.
That's for her lack of faith in us.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? I mean, well, okay, poor lady hasn't even gotten her gift yet. So, I mean, you can't torture her anymore. Let her have whatever she wants. If she says you can't spend $50, you don't spend it.
That's why she doesn't have faith in us, because she knew what kind of work ethic Jeremy had.
Well, she sees me cranking out everybody else's stuff. It's just, it's hard. And that's one of the biggest things about moving away from that commission base was there's so many things I want to do for the house and things that, I wish we had that I build for other people. And I'm really kind of tired of putting those projects on the back burner just to get commissions done. And so, that's the one thing that I've been extremely happy about this year, not taking on any commission work, is I'm finally getting things done that I wanted to do.
There you go.
So,
what's your product, man?
I'm going to recommend MailChimp email service. Talking about marketing, this is a big marketing tool. Is sending out emails. people like me that don't try to get on YouTube on a constant basis anymore. I rely on emails to know what's going on. And when I send out an email, I'll send out just like a little block that's got a personal message, whether it be what's going on in the shop, what's on my mind. I try to add some kind of personal touch to it, along with all the links of the latest videos and articles and podcasts and all that stuff. I was using a service called Direct Mail for Mac, and it was a software you downloaded onto your computer, and it worked great. The only downfall to it was you could only build a project on your computer. You could only work on an email on that one specific computer. It wasn't cloud-based. So if I wasn't at home, I couldn't work on the project. Well, for me, carrying my iPad everywhere, I couldn't get those emails done. I couldn't get them out, and then that would put me behind. And then months later, I'd be like, well, I haven't sent out an email in a few months, and that's why. I think the biggest thing for me to move over is when I got this new computer and I switched over everything from my old Mac to the new one, I lost all my email subscribers. The file didn't transfer over for some reason. And when I contacted the company, they still had a little bit, every once in a while they'll do a backup of your files for you. And they still had a previous file that had only 170 email subscribers out of the 700 or 800 I had on a list. And so that really set me back, and I was upset about it. So I was determined to find somebody better. And a lot of people use MailChimp, but I didn't want to spend a lot of money. I didn't want to do a monthly service of $15 or $20 and not send out that many emails. So I started looking at MailChimp a little more, and lo and behold, it is actually free if you have less than 2,000 subscribers, and you can send out a ridiculous amount of emails each month. So I'm going to recommend MailChimp because it has been a pretty awesome thing to have right now. So
that's pretty cool. I use MailPoet for my newsletters, and it's fairly similar to yours as far as being free and having a certain limit per subscriber, and how many emails you can send out is pretty much unlimited, and it's also free too. So that's a cool one, especially for marketing, because that really helps you with your newsletters on your websites.
Yeah, and I think that was my biggest thing is I'm going to be able to work on them on the go, and life as it is with kids and everything else that we all have going on, everything's got to be on the go. And that's why a lot of people don't have desktops anymore. I moved into a desktop from a laptop to have the power to video edit and be quick about it, but I lost the convenience of being able to do things on the go. Having the iPad, I will hopefully be able to get things done on the go now, at least on my email front.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Well, as far as marketing, I plan on recommending a company called Equid. It's basically an online store that you can set up for your website to sell things such as your plans, your shirts, hats. You can even put your blogs on there for downloads if you wanted to. I do a lot of my plans through PDF format, and my apparel is also sold through there. But whenever somebody clicks on my plans section, it looks just like my website. So it feeds all the information to my website very, very seamlessly. And also, whenever somebody buys something, it sends out corresponding emails that are customizable by me if I want them to be. So it's a very good service for marketing and getting your name out there, and also making it very user friendly for people to use.
Yeah, it's funny that you said for your plans and stuff. Talking to a bunch of other YouTubers that sell plans, I never thought plans as being very profitable. But as long as you are consistent with your plans, I've heard almost an overwhelmingly like that is the best business standpoint that they could have done, is start offering plans for sale for $3, $5, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, I've been a big proponent of offering all my stuff for free, but I think at least on my larger projects, I'm gonna start offering paid plans.
Well, if you're just kind of starting out, having a flow of income such as that, I mean, you kind of have to rely on this income. So you have to diversify your income many different ways, and one of them is selling plans. And you're right; it is a good moneymaker for the people that are very passionate about how they make their plans. Because if they're not very good, then they're not worth the money. But yeah, this online store, Equid, will help you out with that.
Sweet.
I actually thought of moving because my sign business is on Etsy, and I thought about moving to that platform basically to sell that stuff. I looked into it, and it looks like an awesome little program, so I'm definitely going to look into it more than now that you recommended it, so thanks.
You're very welcome.
To kind of help persuade you there, I look at it as Etsy was awesome. I don't really feel like it is anymore now that they allow manufacturers on there. But the fact that I have to pay something like 20 cents for every time I want to list an item, regardless of whether it sells or not. Okay, well, 20 cents isn't nothing, but 20 cents over 50 items or 100 items that you post on there, then that adds up. And if you're not selling your products very fast, then you're just paying money out of pocket. And I don't know about this service, Drew, but what I use, I post it to my online store, and I don't pay a dime. The only thing I pay is when somebody buys it, and then that's a percentage out of the credit card fee, and that's it.
Yeah, it's a little different with Equid. I pay on a yearly basis, but I get a pretty significant discount to do so. But posting on the site is free, and the money that I make is 100% mine. But since it goes through PayPal, then PayPal takes their small little cut. It's a good service, and there's 3 or 4 different types of services. I think one is completely free, if I remember correctly. But since I was selling shirts and apparel that had a significant amount, and I needed a way to track the amount every time somebody bought something, that I wouldn't have to go manually in there and change the amount that I had in my stock, I upgraded mine to, I think it's the venture account or business account, one or the other. But it will automatically track my amount for me in the specific sizes that somebody bought. So I can split them up in medium, large, extra large, and it will keep track of each one that's being bought instead of an overall count.
Yeah. And so I use Squarespace for my store, and it's the same thing. I pay a yearly fee to have it. But here's the thing is I could post an item on there, and it doesn't sell for 5 years. But the thing is it never expires. That item's never going to fall off. On Etsy, it falls off after a month or 2 months. I don't remember how long it is. So if it doesn't sell within that, then you got to repost it, and you're paying that 20 cents again. Or if you list you list one thing, but you have 5 of them in stock, then you have to pay the 20 cents for each one of the items you have in stock. So
yeah, that's something you won't have to do with this program either. So very cool.
You should make the move.
There you go, Sam.
I think it's happening. I think you guys convinced me. Peer pressure.
All right. Well, if you guys would like to support the show, you can head over to www.woodshop101.com/listen and find the show notes for today's episode. And there will be links at the bottom of the show notes for small one-time donations. Anything helps. If you cannot give a monetary donation, then please head over to iTunes. Give us a 5-star rating. It'll help us reach a greater audience. And we had a pretty good one from Dean's Woodworking. Said, great job. Thanks for making my drives in Houston a little more bearable. Dean is an awesome guy. I got to meet him at the woodworking show in Houston. Hopefully he'll want to meet up again for this Lee Nielsen Toolworks event. And he actually invited me over to his shop, so look for that. Hopefully in the next week or 2, I'll be in his shop, especially to use his drum sander. He told me he had one, and I needed it for a project I'm working on, so I'm going to go use drum sander and have a beer, hopefully.
Now, maybe we can plan some kind of a meetup around Texas and Oklahoma. I've been toying around with the idea of the people that don't get to go to the show with the video woodworkers, that maybe we could just have, kind of like Steve does, a little meetup of some kind with the local viewers around that area. So
yeah, well, we need to try for the last week of June or the first 2 weeks of July sometime.
Before you move.
Yeah, well, I'll be on 3 weeks of vacation before I move, and so I'll go back out to Odessa and spend some time with the wife and kids. But I will be going to Dallas at some point to see my brother and my sister-in-law, my nephews, and my dad and everything before I move. And so we should definitely, somewhere between you and Dallas, get a meetup going.
Maybe we can see if April would be interested in showing too, because she lives over in the Fort Worth area.
Yeah. Sam should buy a plane ticket.
All right. Just make sure I sell every single one of my signs in Etsy, and then I'll buy a plane ticket.
There you go.
Well, if you buy a plane ticket now, it's not as expensive. Buy it in advance.
There you go. Yeah, make it cheap. $60. There you go.
I'll just drive down in my Fiat. It'll be cheaper in gas.
Well, there you go.
Well, guys, if you are needing to get a hold of any one of us, we have multiple ways of getting in contact. I myself, you can go to rhwoodshop.com. That is my website for my business. I have a contact section there. You can just click there, find all the information you need on how to contact me. I even have a fancy little contact form that you can fill out, and it will send me an email, and I will get back with you fairly quickly. I tend to answer my emails as quickly as possible. What about you, Sam?
Well, I also have a fancy contact form on my website as well, and you can find that at DIYhuntress.com, and I also answer my emails very quickly.
She almost sounded like a game show host.
Yeah.
Tell them what they won, Jeremy.
You win.
A chance to contact me on my fancy contact form on my website at countrysideworkshop.com. And I can't promise that I'll respond very fast. I try. I try.
Well, we also, you can contact us for the Woodshop 101 podcast for all, and I say this lovingly, all three of us, through the woodshop101podcast.com/listen website. There you can also stream episodes of the show through any device that you have. We also have a fancy voicemail set up through Skype, as well as a telephone number that you can dial through any device, whether it be mobile or landline. And that number is 409-234-3959. We also have an email at woodshop101podcast@gmail.com. You can find us on all social media, so just search our name and it will pop up fairly quickly. So guys, that pretty much wraps up this show.
Yeah, it was a good
We
show.
good? Yeah.
That was a good one. Yeah.
And it was the inaugural show for Sam's full-time job, even though Jeremy doesn't like to call it that.
Well, I mean, a job refers to you getting paid. And we definitely aren't getting paid.
It's an internship and or volunteer work. How about that?
Well, we're all interning, so who's the boss?
I think I saw a quarter on the floor here. I'll find that real quick. I'll send that to you, Sam.
I know where my
I have
son's piggy
Monopoly
bank
money.
is.
I can send you guys Monopoly money.
All right.
I know where my son's piggy bank is.
Oh, no, you already stole money from that. You need to leave that alone. Well, from Jeremy, Sam, and myself, we want to congratulate Sam on her first day as a full-timer here on Woodshop 101. And we want to wish you guys well and be safe in your shops. So from all of us, 1, 2, 3. Boom!
Boom.